All right, let's pull back the curtain on one of the most powerful, yet completely invisible, forces that runs our digital lives. We're talking about APIs. They're the secret language that all of our favorite apps use to communicate. And trust me, once you understand what they are, you're going to start seeing them absolutely everywhere.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How does your weather app magically know it's going to rain? Or how can you use your Google account to log into, I don't know, a dozen different websites that have nothing to do with Google? It kind of feels like magic, right? Well, it's not. It's something way more interesting.
Here's a perfect example we can all relate to: a travel website. You decide you want to go to Paris. You type it in, and bam! In less than a second, you've got flight options from tons of different airlines, hotel rooms from different chains, and even the local weather forecast. But hold on, those are all completely separate companies with their own separate computer systems. How in the world do they all show up perfectly organized on one single page?
The answer is a kind of digital messenger, one that's working tirelessly behind the scenes 24/7. It's constantly running around, grabbing bits of information from one place and delivering them exactly where they need to go. And this little messenger, well, it's the key to understanding how our entire connected world actually works. So, to really get a handle on this, let's use a super simple analogy. Forget all the code and the technical jargon for a minute, and just imagine we're all going out to a restaurant for dinner. So, you're sitting at your table, and you've got the menu. The menu lists everything the kitchen knows how to make. But there's a really important rule in this restaurant. You, the customer, are not allowed in the kitchen. You can't just stroll back there and start telling the chef what you want. Nope, you have to follow the process. And that's where the hero of our story comes in, the waiter. You, the client, tell the waiter your request from the menu. The waiter, who's the intermediary, takes your order to the kitchen. The kitchen, which we'll call the server, prepares your meal, gives it back to the waiter, and the waiter delivers it right to your table. See? Simple.
And that right there is exactly what an API is. The name sounds complicated, application programming interface, but all it really is a set of rules. It's the waiter. It's the go-between that allows one piece of software, like your travel app, to properly ask for something from another piece of software, like an airline's booking system. The API is the digital waiter for all our apps.
Now, just like a real waiter needs to know the specific language the kitchen understands, APIs have their own language and a very specific set of commands. This makes sure every single request is understood perfectly. So let's take a look at what some of those commands are. First off, it's good to know there isn't just one kind of API. You can think of them as different dialects for different jobs. The most common one you'll hear about is called REST. It's super flexible. Another popular one is GraphQL, and it's awesome because it lets an app ask for exactly the data it needs and nothing extra, making it really efficient. You don't need to be an expert on these. Just know that different situations call for different kinds of waiters.
But no matter the type, they tend to use a few core commands. The first is GET. A GET request is like asking the waiter, hey, what are the specials today? You're not changing anything, you're not placing an order, you're just asking to get some information.
Next up is POST. This is when you're ready to order. You're sending brand new information to the kitchen so they can create something for you. In the real world, this is what happens when you post a new photo to your social media feed. You're creating new data.
Then we have put. A put request is used to update something that's already there. This is like telling your waiter, you know what, for that burger I ordered, can I change the fries to a side salad instead? You aren't creating a whole new order, you're just modifying an existing one. And finally, there's delete. This one is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's you calling the waiter back over and saying, hey, please cancel that appetizer, I'm not that hungry after all. You're asking for a specific piece of data or an order to be removed completely.
Okay, so now that we know the basic language, get, post, put, and delete, let's look at where you actually run into these things. Because I promise you, you interact with dozens of APIs before you even finish your morning coffee.
Seriously, just think about how common this stuff is. When you log into an app using your Facebook account, that's an API. When you buy something online and pay with PayPal, that's an API securely handling your money. When your Uber or Lyft app shows you a map, that's actually the Google Maps API working inside another app. And when you tell your smart speaker to turn on your lights, yep, that's an API connecting your devices. They are literally everywhere. So why is this so important? Why has this digital waiter model become the absolute foundation of modern technology? Well, the power really comes down to connection and efficiency.
This is the really crucial part.
APIs let totally different systems, built by different people in different programming languages, all connect and work together like a team. This saves developers a ridiculous amount of time. They don't have to rebuild a payment system or a map from the ground up. But just as important is security. The API is a gatekeeper. It never lets you see the whole kitchen. It only brings back the specific data that was requested and approved.
And this quote just says it all. APIs aren't just some nifty little tool. They are a fundamental, non-negotiable core building block of pretty much all modern software. Without them, the interconnected world of apps that we all take for granted just couldn't exist.
And that really brings us to the future. If APIs are the language our apps use to have conversations with each other today, it leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on. As our world gets more and more connected, our cars, our homes, our cities, what incredible new conversations will APIs make possible tomorrow?